Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Friday, the 11th of March 2022. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the Goddess Tarot for today's reading. Let's see what these cards have to say about Friday, what the day is going to look like. So first we've got the Hanged Man turning himself around there. Then we've got the Two of Wands. And finally, the Nine of Cups, the Nine of Chalices. Okay, so the Hanged Man, we've got, is it Odin and Yggdrasil, the Tree of Life? So it's the kind of Nordic goddess version of the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is all about perspective. It's someone who's going through life. He thinks he's doing the right things. He's doing his best. And suddenly he has a wake-up call and he realizes that, hang on a minute, the rest of society, people around you, they don't actually agree with what you're doing. So let's give you a time out here and give you an opportunity to rethink what you're doing so that you can behave in a way which is more conducive to good relationships. You're not harming anybody else. So to simplify it, it's someone who's committed a crime or done something bad, and he's being held accountable. In this case by, I don't know the name of the goddess. Is it Birgit? Something like that. The card is turning itself around, and when the Hanged Man learns his lesson, he realizes that he's not alone on an island, that actions have consequences, that whatever he does is going to influence other people. And if he changes his behavior, he can create stability in his life. He's got the four here forming with his legs. And he's not going to have such a dramatic experience where he does something and then he's punished for it. So it's basically a reality check. It's someone who's going through the process of being reformed. So the goddess, she has these two white cats here. No, one white cat, one black cat. Duality. So she's objective. She's not going after him for a personal vendetta. She's saying, I'm protecting everybody else here, and you've sided with the black cat. Let's bring some more balance into your life. So really it's you could argue it's an act of service. She's helping him see himself more clearly. He probably doesn't enjoy that very much to begin with, but it's a good idea for him to learn the lesson if he doesn't want to be hung up again. So the thing about the Hanged Man is that you're going to understand what it is that you've contributed to the situation and why it hasn't worked out. So if you feel like you're unlucky or things just don't go your way, you're going to see your part in the situation. And then it offers you the opportunity to change the way you operate so that you don't run into the same situation again. So it's about learning, it's about seeing yourself very clearly without judgment and saying, okay, I'm willing to learn the lessons and I'm willing to do things differently in future. So it's a process of growing up and understanding that you're the maker of your own destiny as such. So it's a bit of a tough lesson. Be kind to yourself in this process. I certainly mess up. We all mess up. And guilt and saying, oh, I just do everything wrong, that's not helpful because it doesn't alter the behavior moving forward. Accepting that you're flawed like the rest of us, and that you can do something about it, that's a positive way of improving yourself and making things better for yourself, your own life, and the people in your life. So that's quite difficult to accept usually. On this day, it isn't going to be that difficult to accept. And once you have that acceptance and recognition of your own part in certain situations, you move to the Two of Wands, and the Two of Wands is about planning for the future and starting over. So we've got this goddess on this wise old turtle. She's looking at the two boys kind of fighting with sticks. So it's about going back to basics, asking your inner child, what is it that you enjoy? What makes you feel alive? What interests you? And how can you move in a direction that's more positive? So these two aren't fighting as such. Usually the wands, in the Five of Wands, it's five boys playing and kind of comparing themselves and competing in order to understand who they are. So reaching out to other people saying, do you know what? I've turned over a new leaf here. I want to do things differently. There's someone in your life who can help you with that, or can help you to continue seeing yourself very clearly and implementing these changes that you want to make, so that the direction of your life is going to be more positive. So this is really like self-actualization. It's editing yourself, maximizing the good stuff, minimizing the bad. The turtle is a symbol of wisdom, and this goddess kind of overseeing these two kids, kind of motherly and nurturing. So that's what you can gain by the Hanged Man, and by asking yourself, okay, what comes next? I'm willing to start over. And she's kind of looking at these two in a very, is this the word, beneficent way? Like in a very kind, loving way. So you have patience for yourself to say, I am on a journey. I'm growing as an individual. I'm changing. I'm willing to change. I remember I said that at a meeting like 10 years ago. And I said, I am willing to change. I am willing to change as a person, as a human being, as a spiritual being. And I really meant it. But when it came to actually changing and doing things differently, I found it so hard. It was like brutal. Because if you're in any way invested in yourself, then altering this individual or this thing that you're so committed to, it can be incredibly difficult. So here we've got these wonderful kind of objective and nurturing forces overseeing this whole process. And if you're willing to accept change and to do things differently in future, then you've got the support of the universe. You've got the clarity to kind of fact check yourself. And you've also got these positive, nurturing, loving vibes that say it's okay to mess up once in a while. You're on the right track now, at least. Keep going. And the keep going is very important because we've got the Nine of Cups at the end. And this is your hopes and dreams being realized. She's holding this kind of victory wreath. And by behaving differently moving forward, you're going to have experiences and outcomes that are very different from the outcomes you've had so far. So the cards are saying that you get to redesign yourself on this day, and the new version, the altered, kind of edited version of yourself that you're now giving your energy to, is going to have a much easier and positive time in the world, because you're putting so much more positive stuff out there. You're much more self-aware of your role in situations, that you deliberately contribute good stuff. And that makes sense because it's a spiritual law. What you put out, you get back. Wow. So a very grown-up day of getting yourself and seeing yourself, putting yourself under a lens, not being freaked by it and saying, okay, I, like everybody else, not perfect. What am I going to do about it? And the outcome is guaranteed to be much more positive. So this is a great day for personal change and self-improvement. Number-wise, we've got 12, and 2 is 14, and 9 is 23. 2 and 3 is 5, and 5 in numerology is freedom. So not only do you experience hopes and dreams coming true and good outcomes, but those outcomes then make you feel freer in your life because you're not being bombarded by these dramatic situations, or you're not blocked at every turn, which in this spread comes along or happens because there are certain things that you're doing which don't serve you or anybody else. Wow. Okay. To me, that sounds kind of intimidating because I've had this experience of trying to change and knowing how hard it is. But I feel the message is, if you're willing to change, if you're willing to look at yourself, you will get the support, and you don't have to be intimidated or afraid, because this is a nurturing, loving, kind of objective, non-judgmental process gradually, which gets you to a good place. So it's in all of our interest to accept this and to say, yes, of course there's a better version of me, I suppose. Of course I could be better. Everybody could. And as long as you're willing to do that, giving yourself time to move through that process, you'll have a better experience moving forward. Okay, so this is a very existential kind of reading for this day. I hope you have a good time. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to order your reading with me. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.